Half health instantly. Google needs to focus fire here. Ignore the loyalists. Go for the ACU of Lainelas. And I think that... Oh, Lainelas, they're getting a critical level of veterans here, and it... Oh, it's... Hello, welcome to episode 21 of the Supreme Commander Forged Alliance Forever Community Cast Library. Trust everyone's had an excellent week. My week's been pretty good, thanks. Lots of faffing got in this week, and my score went up to 1200, I think, yesterday, but now I'm back down to 11. Sad face. I only play a few maps anyway, because I just hate the lobby sim. So... yeah, those maps that get held for, well, basically it's dual gap. I play a lot of dual gap. Anyway, straight into today's action. I haven't actually cast a dual gap yet. If you want me to see me cast a dual gap, then say so in the comments. We've changed a few things as well this week. We've got a sexy new intro. Let me know what you think of that. And also I've added like a little insight section in the first few bits because... I just thought I'd try it out because obviously it's not something original that I've done, but I see a lot of YouTubers doing it and it seems to work quite well for them. So if you like that as well, just leave it all in the comments, guys. Let me know. Okay, to today's action. Enjoy. What's up? Hello and welcome along to a 5 vs 5 on the 10x10 map, Canis Specialized Fixed Edition. Game quality for this one coming in at 93%. We're going to call this team at the top here Team 1, this team at the bottom Team 2, starting off with the players for Team 1 going blue and Master Cybran race weighing in at 1100. It is BlueBobbins. Second up for Team 1 in a sexier, lighter shade of blue, weighing in at 1100 once again. Going, what are you, sir? Going Aeon for this one, it's Jesse. And then thirdly for Team 1 in red, selecting UEF and weighing in at a rather chunky 1900, it is Lainelas. And then fourthly for Team 1, yellow going Aeon, weighing in at 1200, it is CescoNoob. And then lastly for Team 1 going orange and UEF weighing in at 1600, it is BOOSTEDmaverick. I'm pretty sure that's just Maverick. And for Team 2, first up going Space Pirate Alien Shenanigans, weighing in at 1400, going kind of like a limey green, it's Cyborg. And then second up for Team 2 in the lighter shade of pink, weighing in at 1600, I should say, suits you sir, it's Google, who's gone UEF. And thirdly for Team 2 in the darker, not so sexy shade of pink, but it still suits you, sir. Weighing in at 1300, it is Artifax. And then fourthly for Team 2 going white and Aeon, coming in at 1000, it is HotFog. And then lastly for Team 2 in his favored selection of Cyan and Master Cybran race, weighing in at an inflated 1700, it is Death Squad. And there we have the players. We've already got a forward push coming from Maverick, and I'm pretty sure he's going to line up heading towards these 3 max points here, just on the right center of the screen. Those 3 max points usually going to the air player, which for Team 2 is HotFog. HotFog and Jesse there opened up with slightly different builds. HotFog going straight to air with adjacency to the Hydro, whereas Jesse's gone with adjacency to the 2 max points. I prefer HotFog's opening just because the power adjacency is better than the mass adjacency for an air factory, at least anyway. In my opinion, what do I know? But these 2 Met Marines that were surging forward from Boosted have done a good job here. They've taken out a couple of reclaiming engineers being sent forth by Google. I'm going to say reclaim engineers as opposed to expansion engineers because of course these 3 max points pretty sure are going to go to HotFog, so those engineers wouldn't have been tasked with building those max points, I don't think. Early upgrade here from Maverick, already going into a T2 upgrade. Just over 3 minutes through the replay so far. We've got units being sent forward by BlueBobbins, and Artifax has picked up the run by BlueBobbins, and he's now hotly in pursuit with his own scout and hunters. So the hunter of BlueBobbins there just taking out the scout belonging to Artifax, and quickly done there by Artifax, reclaiming the stuff that was passing. And early bombers coming out from a couple of members of Team 1 right now. We've got an early bomber there from Jesse, which takes out 4 engineers on its first pass. And another T1 bomber coming in from BlueBobbins at the back here. We've got scouts moving along the bottom of the map, giving line of sight for the bombers coming in. And CescoNoob also milling around in the equation. He's already got a kill on his bomber. BlueBobbins is up to 2 kills on his bomber. Jesse's coming in for the 3rd pass with his bomber. He's already at 6 kills. So Jesse leading the pack now for T1. Well, kills with their T1 bomber. Death Squad and HotFog trying to scramble some interceptors now to deal with the coordinated attempts of T1 bomber shenanigans being sent forth by Team 1. And BlueBobbins is now up to 5 kills on his. I'm sorry I can't just track one, but they're all doing a pretty fine job here. And Jesse's little T1 bomber going down there. I just missed how many kills it finished up with. It was at least 6. We saw at least 6. CescoNoob's bomber has gone down somewhere, I'm not quite sure where, as BlueBobbins' little bomber continues to rampage over the head of Cyborg. It sounds just like a fly right now to Cyborg, buzzing around, being a general nuisance. And it's up to 6 kills as it comes around for probably its 5th or 6th pass, taking out another reclaiming engineer, that one belonging to Google. Lainelas asking for Aeon team chat, and that is because he is in the halfway stages of a gun speed upgrade. It looks like he's got an E-boost from one of his teammates. The bomber continues to rampage in the middle from BlueBobbins. It's now up to 9 kills. From this point forward, it is a hero T1 bomber of the Cybran nation. And CescoNoob has even got an interceptor forward to try and provide line of sight and a little bit of protection for the continuing rampage. As it goes in once again, it's now focusing on a max point, and BlueBobbins now just with a few units getting through the front lines of Artifacts and into his core base area. Over on the right hand side, Lainelas looks like he's lining up some early pressure to overthrow Death Squad on the far right edge of the map. Death Squad just on a T2 upgrade at this stage, in the early part of that upgrade, and cancelling the upgrade actually. I'm not quite sure why that was cancelled. CescoNoob now into his own upgrade with his comm. He's going gun speed with his ACU. And of course, being Cybran, BlueBobbins going into his gun upgrade, which is a speed and range upgrade. And the bomber continues. Well, we just missed how many kills there, but it must have been on at least 10 kills there, that T1 bomber from BlueBobbins. And we got TMLs coming out from Maverick right now, and it looks like he's going to take out this tasty T2 Max. No, it's not. It's overshot that T2 Max. Is it going for the T2 Max at the back of the base? It's not even going for that. It's gone for the T2 power generation of Google, and it also takes out the T2 engineers belonging to Google. So Google there going instantly into some TMD. So a very, very nice grab early on there by Maverick. well worth its initial investment. And now Maverick's starting to work on the T2 Maxes of Google. Google losing one T2 Max so far. We'll try and keep an eye on this as we keep zooming out, as we've got exchanges between CescoNoob and the ACU of Cyborg, and CescoNoob with his range upgrade is kiting the ACU of Cyborg, and Cyborg's trying to back up out of range, but CescoNoob is just going to follow in remorselessly. And now Cyborg is edged in and Cesco's lost his range advantage, but already Cyborg is down to half health in that exchange, so some very tidy work done by CescoNoob so far on Cyborg. There's now an air battle ensuing between Death Squad and Jesse. The micro is definitely better on Death Squad's part. The numbers look pretty even there, but I don't think Jesse was doing any micro whatsoever, so Death Squad is going to tidily take that victory. But over on the left hand side, we've got a pretty large surge of T1 shenanigans coming forward from BlueBobbins, applying considerable pressure to the forward position of Artifax. Artifax at the moment is choosing to stick around with his comm. And over on the right hand side, Lainelas has completely overthrown Death Squad in his forward base area there, so Death Squad being forced to retreat with his tail firmly tucked between his legs for the time being. We've got Mercies rolling forward here from Jesse. We've got a little collaboration of two going on there. BlueBobbins ACU has followed up the rear of what was his initial T1 unit pushed into the base of Artifacts, and now it's just the ACU of BlueBobbins. But BlueBobbins isn't too far with the second wave of T1 units arriving, so BlueBobbins is just going to chill out in this section of the map here, being a pain in the arse, and Artifacts there deciding to reclaim. I think that was a move order that was accidentally entered as a reclaim, and the second wave breaks upon the structures of Artifacts now, and Artifacts looks like he's in all sorts of trouble with his forward base here. He does have a Renegade offering some support here, but BlueBobbins is going to bring in his interceptors and make relatively quick work of that T2 gunship. So Artifacts now down to half health, and he needs to get out of there. But we've got the Mercies coming in from Jesse, and surely Artifacts is going to be the target. I don't think he's quite got enough to survive this. No, he doesn't. And Artifacts there very unceremoniously dispatched from the replay. And we're just waiting there. And I don't think... Oh, BlueBobbins there is so close to not surviving that. Literally an extra second of those T1 point defense of Artifacts dying, and BlueBobbins would have gone with Artifacts there. Technically, we've got a whole party of interceptors now parking itself over the ACU of BlueBobbins from Death Squad. And we've got Beetles in a transport here lining up for a drop on BlueBobbins. So Death Squad here quickly conjuring up some kind of way to quickly finish off BlueBobbins, and the Beetles go down. I'm not sure how Death Squad's done on his micro here. But BlueBobbins, well, we never really got a chance to see whether the execute order was piled in quickly by Death Squad on the Beetles. BlueBobbins very quick with an OC there. It's actually quite tricky to, well, it is for me at least, to pull off the whole Beetle drop insta explosion thing from the transport, because you have to do the execute kill order before they get in the transport, and it's just really weird and awkward because you also have to have the line of sight on the target ACU. It's just generally tricky, in my opinion. Although it should be, because it's quite a... Anyway. And we've got Boosted Maverick here into the mid stages of a T3 upgrade. We've got Cesco going shield here in the safety of the middle body of water. And BlueBobbins continues to apply pressure on the starting area of Team 2. This time he's coming in from the bottom area of the map. And Artifax is no longer there to shield this from the rest of his team, so the rest of his team are now going to have to chip in and try and plug this vacated spot left by the former Artifax. Artifax never really got a chance to get going in this game. He was under sustained pressure from the off. He lost 5 T1 power generators in the first push in behind by BlueBobbins. I'm not sure if we quite saw that, but it happened. TML continues to rein in from Maverick, but this time Google does have some TMD up, so Maverick's TML there, shenanigans at an end for the time being. Just checking in on other areas of the map to see if we've missed anything. And Death Squad is just trying to re-establish some kind of production area over on the left-hand corner. And Cyborg now employing the use of his gun and nanocom to shred the incoming units of BlueBobbins, and BlueBobbins will be wise to pick up on the firepower being packed by Cyborg now, and will perhaps repent in sending forth subsequent sacrifices. Just got an engineer drop here into the former forward area of Artifacts, and just waiting to see if BlueBobbins will reclaim or rebuild with the 50% starting bonus, given that they were both Cybran. I'm not quite sure what he's going to decide to do that. And Cyborg there picking up on the transport of BlueBobbins and following that up with an interceptor and taking that out. We've now got Ilshivers milling around the forward mid area, kind of the no man's land area of the map right now, just taking out a mech there that was thrown up by CescoNoob. CescoNoob, coincidentally, he's at T3 now, by the way. We've got a Redeemer being pushed forward by Cesco, but Cesco's ACU here is way far forward, and it's completely unsupported by any units. And CescoNoob begging for a T2 air snipe there, as he just goes toe to toe with a triad thrown up by Google, and CescoNoob is comfortably going to win that duel. But Cyborg is creeping up with his ACU here. And all we've got around CescoNoob in support right now is the anti-air, but Google with his gun and nanocom is going to be more than a match for Cesco's double gun and shield com. And also, and perhaps key, is Cyborg is bringing up Ilshivers in support, and Cesco's shields have completely evaporated there, and I think Cesco deserves the fate in which he is about to be bestowed with, because there's no way he is surviving this. He's trying to back up into the water, but Cyborg is following him all the way, and CescoNoob idiotically ejected from the game at just shy of 17 minutes. CescoNoob there just saying, for fuck's sakes, no OC. I'm sorry, Cesco, but OC or no OC, you were fucked there, my friend. And Cyborg picking up perhaps the easiest kill he will ever be gifted with. And we've actually got a tactical nuke upgrade now going on to Maverick's ACU, and Maverick just asking for a E-boost there. Well, as soon as he's finished the upgrade, his power situation was corrected. So Maverick now T3, Raz and Nuke. I don't see Raz very often these days. back on the bottom of the map, and we've got more T1 units being thrown in by BlueBobbins. Although I do feel now that Team 2 are much more able to repel this. We've got T2 Ilshivers being implemented by Cyborg, and that is going to be more than enough to take on the spam being sent in by BlueBobbins, particularly in the way that they're having to funnel themselves through in almost single file through the choke points. But let's check back in on the right hand side of the map, and Lainelas looks like he's employing the use of flapjacks to try and eradicate this little pocket of defense being thrown up by HotFog. HotFog actually also is stashing some mercies of his own here. And what is Death Squad up to? So Death Squad right now is... what's Death Squad on? So Death Squad at the moment is on a laser upgrade. I've paused there because Team 1 are talking in team chat about Death Squad plans. So there's something's happened. So Team 2 have picked up that they think Death Squad is going telemaser, and Death Squad was actually going laser, so it's been well noticed by Team 1. I'm not quite sure how they think he's going tele, because Death Squad has... well, he must have one e-storage somewhere. Does he? I don't see it. Yeah, he does. He has an e-storage somewhere, but there's not enough e-storage or power production for Death Squad to go tally here, and Lainelas is saying get tally safe. He does have laser, but that's going to be tricky for Death Squad to pull that off. We're just checking back in the center now, and Maverick has got a Billy Nuke loaded here as he goes into a SAM construction. So I'm just waiting to see where he's going to target with the Billy. Nothing being targeted yet. I'm not sure what the range is on the Billy, to be honest, but perhaps he doesn't feel like they're taking out this area in the middle here. It's going to be worth it. And Death Squad looks like he's dropping his laser into a loaded Billy Nuke here. This could go very wrong for Death Squad if Maverick's running away here. He needs to launch the Billy, and Death Squad's on the AC with Maverick, and Maverick isn't doing anything, and Maverick's going to go down to the laser. Death Squad dropping Maverick's ACU, and there's a strap bomber coming in from Jesse trying to get onto Death Squad, but Death Squad's going to vet on all the kills there, and CescoNoob just saying that, well played, lol. And Maverick, why didn't he Billy? Why didn't he Billy? There was also a SAM there, I'm sure. So it works, so you have to tip your hat off to Death Squad, but that could have gone very, very differently. So things being evened up now between the two teams. Well, now it's in the favor of Team 2. What am I talking about? So both front spots on Team 1 are now vacated. I think CescoNoobs was a bit of a gift, but Maverick there, you could also say wasn't completely faultless. I don't know. I've never had a Billy Nuke myself loaded and being dropped by a Mazer-com. So I wouldn't know the panic. And there's another T2 transport just moving up from the back here, and it's loading another stealth, T2 stealth into it. Death Squad's just positioning himself. So there's another queue for a drop here going down from Death Squad. Death Squad only has stealth on his ACU as well as the laser. And I just want to slow this down a second because I just want to check out. Maverick had a radar in his base here, but I don't think anybody else is going to see this comm drop coming up from Death Squad. So Death Squad right now is heading up the middle of the map. There we see him. We're going to jump into one of the members of Team 1, and the radar coverage is just non-existent. So Lainelas might glimpse him just there. So Lainelas for a few seconds there gets a view, and I think they've seen it, but there's no pings going out. I don't know what DGDS stands for. So the radar coverage, inadequate level of radar coverage there, has opened up the way for Death Squad to get a comm drop in onto the core area of Lainelas' base. Surely this is a one-way trip from Death Squad, because getting in undetected is one thing, getting out and living is going to be a completely different proposition. But for right now, let's just enjoy the firework display that Death Squad is about to bestow upon us. And already we've got strats coming in from Jesse, taking Death Squad down to half health. Lainelas has lost his T3 land HQ as his engineers go into frantically throwing up some PD, and Death Squad's just heading to the rear of the base now as he goes deep into the red, and he's down to 120 something hit points he hit there. And surely this is the end for Death Squad. I'm not sure if this is going to work out being worth it. They did have a man advantage before Death Squad decided to suicide drop into the base here, but he's regenning and he's almost back up to 1,000 hit points, up from the 120 something that we just glimpsed a few seconds ago. But we've got loyalists coming in from BlueBobbins now, but they're going to be vaporized immediately at the end of the Mazer, and Death Squad now is trying to I don't know what he's trying to do right now. He's just trying to survive the strat runs coming in from Jesse, and we've got some excellent dodging starting to materialize from Death Squad as he realizes that the next thing that hits him is likely to kill him. Nobody sneeze, please, because it could kill him. And continuing to dodge the strat bombers very well here. It's a pity you can't kill things and dodge at the same time. So can Team 2, can HotFog and his compatriots get some air up there to try and rescue Death Squad out of this predicament that he's put himself into? Death Squad now regened up to 3,000 hit points. That's still not a lot. It's still going to be finished off by a couple of strats, if those strats ever hit. And Lainelas is screaming in team chat, "Make gunships, idiots." So that comment clearly aimed at Jesse as another T3 Max goes up in smoke belonging to Lainelas, and Lainelas now rediverting his entire unit stash and his ACU back towards his core area, as Google now starting to take up on the initiative and apply pressure with a squadron of spearheads. Spearheads, very underused unit in my opinion. And finally Jesse has got some gunships up, and Lainelas isn't finished with the insults there. Lainelas suggesting that restorers should not have been built, and that Jesse should have made T2 gunships instead, assumingly because T2 gunships will get up a lot quicker. I'm not sure what the damage difference is between Spectres and Restorers, but Death Squad now with a small squadron, but ever growing. And also Lainelas is come here, is up with Death Squad, and if Death Squad gets some sight onto Lainelas' ACU, I don't think he's going to be afforded enough time. Well, just at the end, before he goes down, the Mazer of Death Squad licks the paintwork on Lainelas' ACU. And Death Squad finally bites the dust. Only time will tell whether that move was going to be worth it. That was always a one-way trip, in my opinion. I'm pretty sure Death Squad himself would have realised that as well. You know, I wonder if Death Squad couldn't have pushed his drop through to the back of the area between Lainelas' base and Jesse's base, and then Jesse would have died to the Mazer and then it probably would have been worth it with the additional damage incurred to Lainelas' base. But as it is right now, it's got to 3 versus 3, and Lainelas is comfortably the highest rated player left in the replay. He's always been the highest rated player, but with the ejection of the 1700 rated Death Squad, it's now up to Google to come up with a counter against Lainelas now, and at the moment he's doing well. He's eroded the forward fire base left by Lainelas with the spearheads and the Ravager creep going from Google. But in the long term, we've got GCs being built rather quickly here from Jesse, and there's 3 more queued up after the one he's got finished in. But for the time being, Google is making hay while the sun shines, and he's got some Titans and assorted units approaching Lainelas, and Lainelas is defending with his ACU right now, and Google is just trying to collect up these units to push forward in a more collective manner. And Lainelas comes forward with his loyalists now, and with Percivals of Google of just making the front lines, and the Percivals start to lead the line in against Lainelas' ACU, and Lainelas is leading the line with his ACU, and the first volley of the Percivals takes Lainelas down to half health instantly. Google needs to focus fire here, ignore the loyalists, go for the ACU of Lainelas. And I think that Lainelas there getting a critical level of veterancy, and it's down to 3,000 hit points. Lainelas going down to 1,600 hit points there, and in the nick of time, Jesse popping up onto the front lines with his freshly built GC, surely saving the life of his teammate there, Lainelas. And were it not for that level of veterancy, Lainelas himself would be dead. So, go back 2 minutes and Lainelas was insulting Jesse. Jesse's just saved his bacon. So close and so lucky there for Lainelas. That level of vet, man, wow. And now Lainelas is demanding the GC from his teammate, and his teammate duly complies. Must admit, I'm exactly the same when there's a 1900 demanding shit off me. I just do it. They're a 1900, I'm not. Live with it. So there's still quite a lot of eco for Lainelas here. Obviously he needs to rebuild the majority of his base here, but he seems to be focusing his efforts onto the nuke launcher at the moment. The structure was built a few minutes ago, and we're currently about 25% on the missile in the tube. But back down on the bottom half of the map, and we've got a T3 push coming in from BlueBobbins now, and Cyborg has got a chicken up, and he's still got... Oh, and there was a monkey load there from BlueBobbins as well, and we just see the wreckage of it there. So BlueBobbins here with a mass donation at the doorstep of Cyborg, and they're just talking about it in Team 1 team chat there. BlueBobbins saying, I thought I could get it in before he finished the chicken. So a mismeasured assault there by BlueBobbins, and Team 2 are going to need plenty more mass donations of that order to stay competitive in this game. And Cyborg here trying to push up onto the right edge of the map, taking out the forward production area of Lainelas. We've got these two T3 land factories up here, but I don't think the pocket of Ilshivers that are left are going to be enough, and in fact they're not even focusing on the land factories anymore. They're taking out the engineers, and that's going to be repelled by Lainelas relatively comfortably. We've got the GC strutting forward now from Lainelas, gifted to him by Jesse, and Google trying to get some Ravagers up. He's already got quite a few up actually, so I don't think Lainelas is going to be too foolish with this GC. We've got spearheads laying down range fire, but of course the tracking on them on moving units is god awful, and Google doesn't have enough Percivals really to single-handedly take on the GC. He wants to suck the GC into the Ravagers, but Lainelas isn't going to play ball there. So Lainelas just microing the GC around, avoiding the spearhead missiles. Back on the left-hand side of the map, and Cyborg is counter-pushing into BlueBobbins. And there's a half-built megalith up here from BlueBobbins, and the chicken immediately starts to lay down assorted plasma balls and rays onto the partially built T4 unit. And now BlueBobbins closing in around the chicken with his loyalists. Cyborg pushing up the rear with the assorted Ilshivers and T1 Zuis. But the chicken, I don't think, is going to survive too much longer as a couple more loyalists creep on at the periphery, and Cyborg's trying to micro the chicken here, but he's swinging the arms around in the wrong direction, and he's only getting one arm off of fire onto the base of BlueBobbins here, and it gets a critical level of veterancy there, and it'll give it just an extra few seconds of life. And those few seconds of life, what's this chicken going to be able to do to the fire base at BlueBobbins? Well, we've got the engineers that are going down. One shield's gone down. Can he take out this T3 land factory and all but kill off this area? And it's still surviving. It's got another level of veterancy in, and now surely the base of BlueBobbins is going to go down. There's a lot of PD there, but there's a few Ilshivers there in the mix to soak up the pressure. And actually BlueBobbins ACU is only just up here on the top left of the screen. And for those that perhaps don't know, T4 units have a base movement speed faster than that of an ACU, so if Cyborg starts to pursue this ACU, it might catch it. Saying that though, BlueBobbins is probably going to make the body of water before it catches up with him. But the nuke's gone out from Lainelas, and well, we see all the ACUs of Team 2 doing the oh shit, I've got no anti-dance, and the nuke being aimed right in the middle. I see that nuke placement a lot on this map, and I don't like it. I don't like it. He's taken out a bit of everyone's eco, basically, but he's not really... Well, I say that. Yeah, okay. I take that back. He's taken out all of the mexes belonging to HotFog, and then Cyborg has lost a mex, and this starting area here has lost a couple of mexes, so it's not terrible, but I just think, I don't know. For me, would it not be better just to completely cripple someone, aka Google? I mean, a nuke there, it takes out all the T3 power as well as all the T3 mexes. I don't know. I don't know. Because for me right now, Google is Team 2's last hope of getting anything out of this replay, because HotFog has been lagging a little bit in the eco game, and Cyborg, he's making slight gains against BlueBobbins now, but BlueBobbins has been more than a match for Cyborg throughout this replay. So I would have gone for Google with that nuke. That's just my opinion. Lainelas is the 1900 though. So we will defer to his judgment. And the chicken is still rampaging around the map from Cyborg now, and the loyalists of BlueBobbins have actually taken just to running away at this point. The Cyborg with his ACU, he's built up a chunky firebase in the middle here, although there's no SMD in that firebase, so that's going to be very vulnerable and probably very tasty looking for the next nuke from Lainelas. And Google now going into the what looks like is going to be a second forward firebase here as Google continues to strengthen his hold on the center of the map. And there's another GC that's finished by Jesse. Is he going to hand that one straight over to Lainelas as he did the first one? Well, it's just parking up at the front of his base right now. I mean, actually, that's not the second GC from Jesse. That's the third GC. The second one is down here. And it was obviously pushed forward to try and counter the chicken of Cyborg, which coincidentally is at 5 levels of veterancy, 125 kills on it now, so it's fully vatted. And just look at the regen going on that chicken, that is very nice indeed. And Jesse here with the GC, looks like he's trying to sneak the GC into where Google's got his ACU, and Google is just dipping into the water in the nick of time here. So Jesse almost sneaking that GC in for the kill on Google's comm. But now the GC is going to have to run for its life as the ACU of Google enters the safety of the water. It's now under relentless fire from Ravagers and Spearheads, being pursued by a deadly looking collection of Percivals. And Jesse's GC is just going to slink away to the left-hand safety of the map. Both GCs at the top have been given over to Lainelas, and Lainelas looking like he's re-establishing himself quite nicely here. Definitely helps that Jesse is handing over the GCs. And Lainelas having to go into mass TMD production here to try and counter the Spearheads. So let's just jump into the eco situation right now. We've not done an eco check all game, but here we go. So top of the charts right now, and very surprisingly, unsurprisingly, is Lainelas on an income of 293 a tick. In second place is actually HotFog, which is surprising to me. That's got to be reclaim related, but HotFog on an income of 313 a tick there, so jumping up to first place there. And the second nuke has gone out from Lainelas, and it's targeted the very sexy firebase of Google. It's not going to be sexy for much longer because it's going up in a big pile of nuclear plume. And now the GCs start to push forward from Lainelas as the Percivals move forward to meet the advance. And the Percivals, there was enough Percivals there to take on one GC, but two GCs ain't going to cut it. Although one of them is extremely damaged, but the Percivals are down. And the Spearheads at that range are just going to be confetti. And Jesse's last GC is now back to the central area, and he's handed that off as well to Lainelas. And Lainelas now with 3 GCs, or one of them is critically injured. I wouldn't be surprised if he decides to reclaim that one. What's Lainelas's eco like? So Lainelas could definitely use a boost of, and there we go. God, I'm good at this. So Lainelas there needs a little boost of mass income, so very tidy, efficient management there, recycling the critically damaged GC And he's got the 2 remaining GCs, and this chicken's been sent forward by Cyborg, the super chicken. Well, that was squandered, and that's disappointing to see. I'm not sure what Cyborg thought he was going to accomplish with that. He didn't even wait for the second chicken to catch up with his super chicken, and the super chicken is now a big Aeon storm in the middle of no man's land. And we also have got a megalith up now from BlueBobbins, so as we can see, things starting to look ominous for Team 2. Death Squad's suicidal drop to try and cripple Lainelas, perhaps not kill him but cripple him, doesn't look like it's going to have worked, because Lainelas is very healthily recovered. He's got a fat boy up, he's been given all of the GCs by Jesse. BlueBobbins is dealing with Cyborg in the center slash left center area of the map, and Google, after all of his hard work getting up these fire bases, has been undone by really the nuke launcher from Lainelas. And there's still no effective counter being offered up by Team 2. There is an anti up for Team 2, at least now. Well, there's 2 antis up, neither of which are actually loaded. Tell a lie, there's 3 antis, still none of them are loaded. So the GB team looking square up against it at this point, and BlueBobbins there going into a laser upgrade inspired by the shenanigans he saw unfold earlier at the hands of Death Squad. BlueBobbins is now deciding to venture down the same Master Cybran path, the true path of any Cybran Jedi, but Google's going down here to one of the GCs from Lainelas, and the GC there just catching Google unawares as he was venturing forward from his fire base. And that is surely that for Team 2. Google not being very secure with his comm, although I'm pretty sure everyone knows which way the match is going at this point, so we're just gonna speed things up here and hasten the inevitable conclusion. And the GC is going to wait for reinforcements coming up from the megalith and the fat boy. And now in unison, or not in unison, the T4 ending begins to approach, but on the bottom of the map here, Lainelas has snuck around with some Percivals into the bottom of the base here, and HotFog now is hot trotting across to the left hand side, escaping the Percivals. Well, now actually he's decided to about face, and he's gonna accept his fate like a man. And HotFog going down to the Percivals. So we're just left with Cyborg, and do I see a teledome? Yes, I do. So Cyborg, well, he gets nuked and lasered at the same time. And the immense camera shake of a comm explosion, and there ends the replay. So a swashbuckling affair on the iconic map Canis comes to its conclusion, and Team 1 pulling the victory out in the end. It was very much in the air for a long spell of the match, and I'm pretty sure that Team 2's hopes ended when Death Squad suicide dropped into Lainelas' base. Let's go ahead and take a look at the stuff. So Lainelas getting 2 kills, Death Squad getting the 1 kill of Maverick, which was very entertaining, and Jesse also coming up with 2 kills there. So for all the for all the insults thrown at Jesse throughout that match, he's come up with 2 kills. And also, let's not forget the crucial save from Jesse on Lainelas' ACU, when there was a little bit of mismicro on Lainelas' ACU when the push came in from Google. The score-wise, definitely going to Lainelas. If we just go ahead and take a look at the categories here, in Lainelas sweeping 3 or 4 categories of mass income, stuff built and stuff killed. Power income going to Google. So in terms of man of the match, it's pretty straightforward, this one. Lainelas definitely with a carry. Well, I was going to call it a carry. It wasn't a carry. But Lainelas definitely coming up with the significant contribution that gets Team 1 over the line. I actually thought that Jesse played very well. Let's not forget that he is an 1100, so he's the same rank as me, and I thought he acquitted himself very, very nicely throughout that replay. Right guys, I hope you enjoyed the content. Please don't forget to support the channel if you do enjoy the content with likes, subscribing, and lots of comments. I've added a few things to this one. I've just changed the layout a little bit, and we've added a sexy new intro. So if you like that, then please let me know. If you don't like that, please let me know, and I will look at changing that again in the future. Right guys, take care. I will catch you in the next one.